This podcast is produced by the Fireside Chat Club of Canada.
Hello, and welcome to Canada as I See It. A very significant door in Canadian history closed just over a week ago. On Christmas Eve, Annette Liliane Marie Allard passed away in Beloeil, Quebec. That's a suburb of Montreal. Who is Annette Allard? Well, she was the second of 5 children born to Elzire and Oliva on May 28, 1934, in Corbeil, Ontario. Another clue? Those 5 identical children were also known as the Dionne Quintuplets, the first quintuplets known to have survived their infancy. Like most multiple births, they were premature. What is remarkable is that they were 2 months premature in 1934 in a farmhouse and weighed a combined weight of 13 pounds, 6 ounces. The largest was 3 pounds, 4 ounces. I'm guessing that Annette would have been perhaps around 3 or maybe a little bit less. And the smallest of the 5 was 2 pounds, 4 ounces. Let's back up a bit. I said identical, and although not confirmed until they were 4 years old, they all developed from one original fertilized egg cell. And this may have been more extraordinary. It appears that in her 3rd month of pregnancy, Elzire appeared to have passed a miscarried fetus. That would have made it 6. Well, this entire story of the Dionne Quintuplets is worthy of more than I can give you in a 15-minute podcast. But, having said that, the story begins with the Ontario government making the children wards of the Crown until they were 18. And it continues while they were paraded around the world as circus exhibits. Let's see, there are lawsuits, abuse on several levels, misappropriation of money they earned, and a fight to keep their original home, which, ironically, none of the Quints really ever saw or cared for, frankly. It is, in fact, designated now as an historic site. I have seen the house back in 2004 when Caroline and I took our trip to Cochrane and beyond. It had been moved a couple of times at that point already from its original location in Corbeil to North Bay, 17 kilometers away. And it is now known, actually, as the non-profit Dionne Quintuplets Museum. It was most recently moved in 2017 from the intersection of Highway 11 and the Trans-Canada Highway, number 17. That's actually where we saw it, to its current location on the lake shore of Lake Nipissing, and that's 3 kilometers away from that point. I'll leave a couple of links for you to follow, but since it was Annette who spawned this episode, let me tell you a little bit about her. First off, she had 13 siblings, 6 older, 4 obviously the same age or close enough, and 3 younger siblings. That fact alone makes it even more extraordinary that she was the first to crawl, to which I asked, where was their room? Their house was no bigger than the current 2-bedroom abode that Caroline and I share. And there's only the two of us here. Annette was also the first to cut a tooth. She was the first to recognize her name. Interesting thing about that, she likely learned her name in English. Well, words are words, but her teachers would have been English. The rest of the family, all 11 of them, parents included, were unilingual, French. That actually caused friction when the girls were returned to the family, and it most certainly was a problem when the government came to them regarding guardianship and likely presented those documents in English. So that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to everything that was done wrong to and for the sisters. Because of that, safeguards have been put into place to protect against something like that happening again. Annette and her sisters became champions of children's rights. Now, would you like me to continue with this story? You don't have to answer now. Of the Quints. It's going to be a big one, and it might take me a while to compile, but if you're interested in hearing more of this, please email me at asiseeit@warpole.ca. And for the first time this year, WHORPOLE.ca. And please let me know what you would like. Let's see. So, moving on a bit today, the original date of broadcast for this is January 4th, 2026. And if you still write checks, don't forget to change the date when you're writing. I'm now going to pause while half of you laugh and while the other half of you Googles what write a check means. There we go. Let's see. Let's have a look at a few things that happened today in Canadian history. On this day in 1817, which technically wasn't really Canadian history as yet. 50 years still had to go by before Canada became Canada. But anyhow, let's beside the point. In 1817, stagecoach service between Kingston and York, now known as Toronto, began. That actually was a pivotal development in transportation between Upper Canada's two major settlements at the time. The original fare for that stagecoach service, $17. Yeah, that's what it takes to ride a small portion of a certain toll highway in this area now. Anyway, in 1830, Upper Canada College, one of Canada's oldest private schools, opened, also in York, now known as Toronto, yeah. Now, I couldn't find out how much it cost to attend the school in 1830, but I did find out that a professor at the school at that time earned £30 per year. To try and convert that to something that's comparable to today is, well, difficult. It's not just a matter of Googling, because really it only works out to $8,611.73. Yeah, that wouldn't be much of anything for a professor. But what I did find out is that that professor at Upper Canada College in 1830 made about the same as your run-of-the-mill farmhand. Whoa. Finally, in 1908, we mourned the death of Canadian rowing champion Edward Ned Hanlon. He was a prominent figure in Canadian sports, specifically rowing. Yeah. There is a section of Toronto's Island Park known as Henlands Point, and that location was where Henlands Point Stadium was. And it is also the place where George Herman Babe Ruth hit his first professional home run as a member of the Providence Grays on September 5th, 1914. Today, Henlands Point is the location of a clothing-optional beach. Although I doubt that there would be anyone partaking in that option today. Yeah, a little chilly out there. I'd like to thank Heather for introducing the podcast this week. If you'd like to be part of this space and introduce the show like Heather did today, please send me a recording of you saying, "This podcast is produced by the Fireside Chat Club of Canada," and you can send that to me at asIseeit@warpole.ca. That's also the address to send me stories that you'd like me to add to a future broadcast. I'm currently looking for stories of your home province, but if there is something else that you'd like me to talk about, or if you want to tell the story, that's always welcome. Please send me the words or the audio files. I really would like to include it as part of the show. Another way to get a shout out on the podcast is to buy me a coffee. Please go to my site, warpole.ca, where you can find links to a couple of the things I've talked about today. But for this, you can click on the yellow rectangle in the upper right corner and follow the instructions. Your support will help me maintain this equipment that I use to record the podcast and help me as I work to write and travel to places to bring you more. And as I said before, it does keep me virtually caffeinated, and that really is important for me. Canada, as I See It, is a production of the Fireside Chat Club of Canada. The music you heard off the top and you're listening to right now is our theme music, and that is Night Owls by Braden Deal. Thank you all so much for listening. Have yourselves a wonderful week.